The I felt like we've made a lot of progress here, but mental toughness is a fickle thing, and we've shown real spurts of it this year in some cases, but we've also shown spurts of not having it, and that was disappointing tonight. And I'm responsible for it. I'm disappointed of how we responded tonight. And we really made so many mistakes early in this game. It was very difficult to recover from it. You got to give Hawai credit. It's a good football team. They did a really good job tonight. They've got good players. They took care of the football today. They didn't turn it over. They improved on some of the areas that they needed to improve on. But I just was disappointed on how our guys responded. And we have to find a way to play better pass defense. The mistakes that we had on special teams are just very difficult to overcome. And then we did very little on offense. I mean, we didn't run the ball effectively. We didn't score any points of note. And so, I think we have good players. We have good kids. We have to be accountable for what happened tonight, and we have to go back to work and really start to build on some things that we can do well. And I think that's really important as we go into a bye week after 5, tough games and really start building on what we can be as a team as we move through conference.
Was the slow night on offense more of what you guys didn't do or what they were doing?
No, I just don't think we did. We obviously didn't execute. They give them credit. They played tough. They played physical. We weren't able to get any kind of consistency in our running game. We played both the quarterbacks and gave them a chance, and we turned the ball over, didn't find enough consistency in the pass game. So, give them credit. They did a good job defensively, and we obviously didn't execute well enough.
Coach, you mentioned accountability in the interview in Eugene too, and you guys bounced back from that. So this team is capable of turning this into positives. What's going to be the key then for that to repeat?
I think we're certainly capable of doing things right and playing well and competing hard, but it has to be consistent. That mental toughness is something that players are capable of. Obviously, we've showed that early in the year. I mean, we made a point before the season to talk about inexperience and how inexperience isn't an excuse for playing well, and we have to play well. We have some young guys that struggle at times still. Our center position is one that's not very, very experienced, and we continue to have some issues there. We have inexperience at our long snapper. We had problems there tonight. And then in the back end, we didn't challenge these receivers nearly enough. And you can't play passive in the back end against a good passing team. You're not going to have success doing that. So, we have to find a way to get a better performance out of our players, and that's what coaching is all about. So we'll go back to work with the guys that we have, and we'll try to get them to understand the mistakes that they made, and try to get them bouncing back and with a more confident performance.
Does anything change for the bye week? Like if this game had been 17-14 or something, does anything change, or does the plan stay the same?
No, I don't. I really believe that we go into the season with certain plans about what we're going to do for practice, but I really believe that we do what we think's right for our football team on a week-by-week basis. So, we'll look at the film, and obviously we'll learn from what we see on that, and then we'll go to work this week. Obviously, the bye week, we try to give the guys a little bit of a break. We lost a couple of players tonight with injuries that we probably won't get back. Jake Nelson, I believe, broke his arm, and Dalen Johnson broke his arm. I think both of those players will probably be done for the season, and so that's really disappointing. They're both good kids and important to us, and so we'll have to do a good job of trying to replace them. But for the bye week, we're going to go recruit this week, but we'll look at the film and look at what we really need to concentrate and work on in practice to improve.
Coach, where do the two quarterbacks stand at this point? 5 games in, strong and so on.
I think we'll look at it and see. I don't know that either one of them played well enough for us. And, we kind of went into the game wanting to play Christian a little bit along with Carson. And so, I think both of those guys are capable of playing good football for us. Obviously, we didn't get enough tonight from enough of our players, and those guys included. So, we'll take a look at it and see, where we go from there with the quarterbacks.
Is Malik available? Is he part of that picture?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Malik's available.
And then sticking with the offense for a second, I thought Toa ran really hard. I know silver linings are not great in a 50-point game, but he's a hard runner. Yeah,
he ran hard, and that's what we expect out of him. We didn't block consistently, and like I felt like we could on this defense, and that was disappointing. I felt like we could run the football with more effectiveness. We have in the past, but it just goes to show that you have to play and execute on the day that you're called to play, and we certainly didn't tonight, and they did a good job. So you got to give them credit, and obviously we have to do a better job.
How do you address, or how do you coach mental toughness? Is it just about compound effect, I guess, chopping at it?
No, we've been attacking that since we've been here. We've been trying to improve physicality and mental toughness, and so we'll just continue to work on that and challenge our guys and make sure that they're thinking about the right things and practicing the right way, and making people accountable. That's the only way you can do that in this sport, and it starts with me, and so we'll just take a good look at the film and address the issues that we see.
Anything else for Coach? Coach Jackson Kincaid is taken off. Would you just address what he made?
Jackson is like a lot of kids in this day and age that are taking advantage of these new rules, and I'm going to be honest, I addressed it with our team. I think it's a real problem in college football. I think it has a chance to ruin the sport, to be honest with you. College football is built on sacrifice and team play. And these new rules, kids coming in and wanting to redshirt because, they're a role player and they're not a starter. It really is, these things are attacking the heart of college football. It's going to affect academics as well. And I think everybody really has to look at it. The kids wanting to transfer and not talking to coaches, and it's very challenging to coach in this day and age when you can't enforce what's best for the team. And this is a team sport. It's based on sacrifice. It's based on playing for each other, and these new rules are not enforcing what this sport is all about. And it's challenging. It's getting harder and harder to coach. And you know, and the mindset of these kids is very fragile, and you have to do all you can to help them understand the challenges that they have to face. But we'll continue doing it, but it's not good for the game. It really isn't, and Jackson has decided to use the system and stop playing after 4 games when he was, you know, one of our most productive players. And so that's his choice, and that's what these new rules allow these kids to do. And so we'll just have to keep dealing with it the best we can.
Thanks, Coach.
Questions for Kaleb?
What seemed to go wrong out there?
You know, just guys not doing their job, and that's, you know, all around every phase. You know, including myself, we just need to go out there and do our job when our number's called and execute the plays that are called. You know, obviously losing sucks, but it is what it is. Game's over. Time to move on to a bye week, get guys healthy, and we're on to San Jose State. You know, it's not the end of the world. It's 1 loss in conference, and, you know, just got to bounce back.
You exhibit plenty of mental toughness, the journey you've been through. How do you let that rub off on other guys who maybe could be down at this point?
You know, you just got to keep rolling with the punches, and like I said, the goal is to go 1-0 every week. You know, like I said, it's not the end of the world. Guys just need to know that, you know, it just goes down as another loss, but, you know, we can have a great season from here on out. Just keep doing our job and just get better each week. And obviously we got a lot to work on, and that's what we're going to do this bye week. We're going to take advantage of it and go into San Jose State.
In Eugene, Coach had mentioned accountability in his post game, and you guys seemed to respond to that with 2 wins. He mentioned the same thing tonight. Do you expect, you know, the next 2 weeks to really be focused on you're accountable?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you know, sometimes these losses are just a good lesson to see, you know, what's exposed and what you need to work on. And like I said, obviously there's a lot to work on, especially the offensive side. You know, like I said, including myself, guys have stuff to do and a job to do, and we didn't do it tonight. And it is what it is, and we just got to move on. And like I said, go 1-0 each week, and so going to the bye week with a good mindset and get better.
Both you and Coach had mentioned the mental side here. On the physical side, is Hawaii that good? Was it you guys helped Hawaii, or physically, how did you feel you matched up?
You know, we give credit where credit's due. That's a good football team. They came out and they did what they were supposed to do. They executed their play calls, and we didn't. You know, I think physically we can match up with anybody. I don't think that's a problem. I just think that, like I said, we just need to come out and execute the plays that are called in every phase of the game. And, you know, like I said, it is what it is, and we just got to move on, take it on the chin, and get better next week.
What do you feel like hindered the offense tonight?
You know, just not executing the play calls. You know, like I said, each guy has a job to do. And like I said, including myself, being a captain of the offense, I need to do a better job as well. So, like I said, just continue to get better each week. You know, I mean, just go execute, do your job, and things start to fall in place when you do that.
Do you think the bye week's a good time for maybe one of the quarterbacks to emerge as the full-time starter?
You know, that's Coach's decision. If he feels that there is a guy that's going to be the starter, that's his decision. You know, we got 3 capable guys, so going to bye week, see what guys can do, and whatever he decides to do for San Jose State is what he decides to do.
Anything else for Kaleb? Thank you.
Thanks, Kaleb.
And questions for Lucas?
How tough was it to lose the way you guys did tonight?
I mean, loss always is difficult, especially a loss like that at home. Just bad taste. Really, really, really unfortunate.
Plenty of hype into this game. I mean, how do you explain what happened, at least in the rapid reaction? How do you?
I mean, yeah, there was a lot of hype. There was hype about the weather, Hawaii coming here, you know, having to battle that. They came ready to play. They were flying around, and I think we got hit in the mouth at the beginning, and then kind of kept taking hits, and we just kind of dropped our hands, is what it seemed like. We just didn't really come out and start fighting back, and I think that was the biggest issue. I mean, Hawaii is a good team. We played poorly. they played well, but in the end, I mean, we couldn't really fight back, and it's tough because we didn't show mental toughness that I know that we have showed in other games.
I remember talking to you after the Oregon game. Do you see similarities between the situations, the disappointment, a big loss, and you guys in both of those situations have mentioned two things. You've mentioned accountability and you mentioned mental toughness. Do you see that as well?
Yeah, and I do, and it's difficult because you go from Oregon and you kind of put that behind you and you move on to the next week, and we bounced back from that. We got a win, and we kind of won again, and you kind of think that's behind us, and then we go out there and put something like that on the field, and it's extremely disappointing and discouraging because we were making strides in the right way, but we got to. I mean, there's things we got to get corrected. I think guys get on their high horse sometimes and lose track of the details, lose track of the small things, and we gotta keep everybody accountable. Winning or losing, you kind of have to attack each day the same day.
I know it's kind of a long night for you guys, but could you describe, Hawai and Cole McDonald, give them credit, as Coach Norvell said. What was it like? I mean, that could be the best passing attack you see. Can you take us inside that? I mean,
they have athletes all over the board. They have good coaching, really good coaching staff. They utilize their players really well. And the quarterback, he's patient, good pocket passer. Cole's, he's good caliber player, really good player. And we had a certain package playing them that worked well for us last year. It was a very similar package when we played them, and it wasn't like they played the package differently. We didn't execute like we did last year, and I know every year is a different year, but it really was a similar game, and just they went their way and it didn't go ours.
Their first series, you guys got a key sack. On their third series, you stopped one on the fourth down. I mean, there were some positives happening early in the game for the defense. What do you think happened after that?
There was positives, and I think early in the game, we got hit, but it was still close. And then as they kind of got a few more scores, from what I saw, that the lack of mental toughness was kind of shocking to me. I really felt like we got hit in the mouth a few times, and then we kind of just dropped our hands.
You're a football player. You'd probably play a game every day if you could, but even with that, do you sense that the bye week is coming at a good time?
Yeah, it is. I like that we are going to have this taste in our mouth for 2 weeks, and we can't just get over it. This bye week's going to be huge because there's a lot of things that we need to fix, obviously. It'll get guys healthy. We've got a lot of guys banged up right now. But I'm actually happy that we have a bye week after this because we need to kind of keep this taste in our mouth for longer than just 1 week.
Hello. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.